Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And to all my brothers out here preaching this truth to you, I say Shalom. This is a Matazah from the Chicago camp, coming back at you again with another lesson entitled, What is the Purpose of a Woman when you consider her biological design? Now, Esau, through all of his wine and sorcery and witchcraft, all right, has confused the entire world, okay, especially here in Babylon, okay, here in Babylon the Great. If you ask a woman, what is a woman, okay, she can't answer it. It's not that she can't answer it. She's in rebellion and she doesn't want to answer it. So I want to play this little short real quick just to expose the rebellion, okay? This man is going to ask a question, all right? And immediately you're going to see the rebellion of being posed with that question, okay? He's just asking, what is a woman? Define a woman. And the woman actually, you could physically see that she's in rebellion. She hated the question. These women don't want to acknowledge what their role is, okay? Now, biologically, we're going to talk, right, about their role. In this lesson, I'm not going to say what your role is, okay, what the woman's role is. We're just going to look biologically and see what the role is, because her biology is going to tell us what the role is. But first, let's go ahead and let's watch the rebellion. Let me turn this volume down, okay, so it doesn't come blaring into the screen. All right, let's watch. Fair use, fair use.
What is it? That's a stupid.
What is a woman?
What is it? That's a stupid question, dude. That's a dumb question.
What is a woman? It's not a trick question. What is a woman?
Who identifies as a woman?
You can't answer the question with the question. Yeah, define the woman without saying woman.
So they've been fed, okay, how to respond. See, this is an example of Esau's double tongue, right? He says, define what a woman is. And they say, someone who identifies as a woman. What? What the fuck does that mean? So a man that identifies as a woman is a woman. No. What is a woman? That's the question. But Esau then taught these people, okay? And they especially getting them when they're young, indoctrinating them with the wine. That's why the world is mad. The earth is mad. So you can't define what a woman is without saying the word woman. Just say what it is. That's what he's trying to get them to do.
It's a social
You're in college, paying for an education. What is a woman?
How about you talk to someone with media training? How about you talk to someone
You don't need media training. It's not a trick. What is a woman?
Someone who identifies as a woman.
You can't answer the question with the...
What are you talking about?
It's the college kids of America going hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt who think it's a trick question when you ask them what a woman is. It's a woman.
You see? They're frustrated because they're in rebellion. Simple. They don't want to acknowledge exactly what their actual role is. Let's watch that again, because one of the women said that it was a social role. A social role. What does that mean? A social role. Let's play it one more time.
What is it? That's a stupid question, dude. That's a dumb question.
What is a woman? It's not a trick question. What is a woman?
Who identifies as a woman?
You can't answer the question with the question. Yeah, define Define the woman without saying woman.
It's a social role.
You're in college, paying for an education. What is a woman?
How about you talk to someone with media training? How about you talk to someone
You don't need media training. It's not a trick. What is a woman? You can't answer the question with the... It's the college kids of America going hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt who think it's a trick question when you ask them what a woman is.
There you have it. Okay. So, that brings us to today's lesson. Okay. What is the purpose of a woman when you consider her biological design? Okay. Very, very important. Instead of telling you what is the purpose of a woman, what does her biological design say? So we're about to get into that. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. Each month, a woman's life revolves around a 28-day menstrual cycle. Okay? So her whole life revolves around one thing: whether or not she's impregnated or not. In other words, her whole life revolves around whether or not she conceives seed every month. Okay? All right, let's take a look. It says a woman's menstrual cycle is the monthly hormonal process that prepares her body for pregnancy. It's the time between the first day of one period and the first day of the next. A normal menstrual cycle lasts 24 to 38 days, but it can vary from person to person. So somewhere between 24 and 38 days, all right, is a normal menstrual cycle. All right. All right. And 28 days for most women. But it can vary from person to person. For example, teenagers may have cycles that are as long as 45 days, while people in their 20s and 30s may have cycles that are 21 to 38 days. During a menstrual cycle, the body produces different amounts of hormones which can cause menstrual symptoms. Menstruation is when the lining of the uterus, called the endometrium, is shed. A normal menstrual period lasts 3 to 7 days. Okay, somewhere between 3 and 7 days. Regular menstrual periods are usually a sign that the body is working normally. However, irregular or heavy, painful periods are not normal. Okay? All right, so the woman's life revolves around her menstrual cycle. Okay? Every month, she can expect to bleed. All right? Anywhere from 3 to 7 days, all based on whether or not she's impregnated or not. If a woman does not conceive seed or becomes impregnated, at some point during the month, she'll bleed for 3 to 5 days on average. If a woman does conceive seed, okay, that means she's impregnated. She becomes pregnant. Gestation, or the pregnancy, lasts typically 40 weeks, okay, or 10 months, which is considered full term. Now, my son was exactly 40 weeks, okay? That's 10 months out of a 12-month calendar year, okay? Now, the scripture, all right, says that the woman is the weaker vessel. When a woman is pregnant, what happens if she's on the bus? When men notice that a woman is pregnant, hey, they'll make sure they give up their seat, right? Because she's what? She pregnant. She carrying seed. She's very, very vulnerable. She got to eat for two. Got to make her comfortable. She got swelling. Her feet swell, legs swell, breast swell, everything hurt. Oh, she got to pee all the time. The baby sitting on her uterus. Oh, I got to pee. I got to pee. The baby sitting on her bladder. She got to eat for two. She got to make sure she ain't drinking alcohol or consuming drugs. If she does have a job, right? If she does have a job, they take it easy on her, right? During her her working hours, and they make sure she don't do nothing stressful that will cause her to what? Lose the baby, right? Okay. Gestation is the period of time between conception and birth when a baby develops in the womb. It's a typical process for mammals, but some non mammals also experience gestation. In humans, the average length of gestation is 40 weeks, but a normal pregnancy can range from 38 to 42 weeks. Gestational age is calculated from the first day of the mother's last menstrual cycle, not the date of conception, which usually happens about 2 weeks later. It says babies born before 37 weeks are considered premature, and babies born after 42 weeks are considered post-mature. This is Wisdom of Solomon 7:1. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in a time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man and the pleasure that came with sleep. Okay? So the seed of man, the gestation period is 10 months. Okay? Seed of man. All right. Now, in Israel's law, there was something called ceremonial cleansing. Okay? And this was the time that was added on at the end of a woman's childbirth. Okay? That she had to abstain from sex. All right? To be purified. Now, if it was a boy, it was 7 days plus 33 days, which is 40 days. If it was a girl, it was 14 days plus 66 days, which is 80 days. Okay? So a boy, it would be 1 month and 10 days. And for a girl, it would be 2 months and 20 days. Okay? Almost 3 months that the woman had to abstain from sex. Okay? To be purified. All right? And you also see also in the scriptures that Mary, all right, the mother of Yahushua, she went through a ceremonial cleansing. Okay, all right, and that's a cut. All right, that's a cut. Leviticus 12:1. It says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation for her infirmity shall she be unclean. And in the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days. Okay? 3 and 30 days. So that's 33 days plus the 7. She shall touch no hollow thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. But if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 60, okay? 60, 3 times 20, and 6 days. So 3 times 20 is 60 and 6. Okay, so that's how you get the 66 days. All right, so this is the ceremonial cleansing. All right, so either a month and 10 days for a boy or 2 months and 20 days for a girl. All right, now this is the time that you add on after the actual childbirth. So you got 10 months for the gestation. After gestation, this is just all the total inclusive time, that this woman has to be in with great care. Okay, great care. All right. Without the modern day convenience of baby formula, how long would it take to breastfeed a child? On average, it's 2.5 years. Okay, and we're talking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All right. So if you go to what everyone calls an underdeveloped world or underdeveloped country, rather, um, it's about 2.5 years on average is what it takes to wean a child. All right. And we talking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're not talking about no formula. Prolonged breastfeeding is common in many less developed countries. See that Esau like to call it prolonged, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. In traditional societies where formula is not widely used, the average duration of breastfeeding is 3 to 4 years. Here are some examples of cultures where breastfeeding is common. Guinea-Bissau, the average length of breastfeeding is 22.6 months. India, mothers typically breastfeed until their children are 2 to 3 years old. First Nations in Canada, traditionally mothers breastfeed until their babies could get all their nutrition from solid foods or until they become pregnant again, which could be 3 to 5 years. Forgive me for my pronunciation if I'm not saying it right. It says Semaine forager, horticulturalist in Bolivia. Most mothers stop breastfeeding between 12 and 26 months. Okay, so somewhere between 1 year, all right, and a little over 2 years, with an average of around 19 months. Okay, so that's over a year. The World Health Organization recommends breastfeeding for up to 2 years or more. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that babies only receive breast milk for the first 6 months. Okay, definitely don't listen to that shit. All right, so let's add it all up. You got gestation that takes 10 months. And in this example, we're going to go with the longest, which is the ceremonial cleanse of the girl, of a female child, which is approximately 3 months. All right. Nursing is 30 months. Okay. 30 months. Now you're working in Esau Kingdom and you got formula. You send formula to the daycare, someone else who's raising your child while you go and work at Potbellies. one of Esau's chain businesses. Okay, so either you're working at Kinko's or Potbellies or Skechers, and your baby is in daycare with some formula, getting fed, right? for 2 years, damn near, or almost. But you're supposed to be feeding your child, all right? But either way, 10 months for gestation, 3 months for the ceremonial cleanse for a girl, 2.5 years or 30 months for nursing. So that totals up to be 43 months, which is equal to 3 years and 7 months. Okay. Now this is if we're in a society where there is no convenience of formula. Okay. So when you recap and you consider, when you consider that the woman's whole life is revolved around whether she gets pregnant or not due to her period, and if she does get pregnant, now you have a life growing inside of you for 10 months, all right? And then after you give birth, now you got to do your ceremonial cleanse, okay? You got your ceremonial cleanse that has to happen, okay? And then after the ceremonial cleanse, you got to feed this child breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're a walking meal kitchen, all right? So you got to feed this child breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? So when you consider a woman's biology, what is the purpose of a woman when you consider her biological design? And this ain't even talking about, anything outside of just the physical. We're just talking about the physical. Okay? There's plenty of things that I could say what a woman's supposed to be. But when we're considering only her biological design, you can clearly see what the purpose of a woman is. All right? So I pray that this lesson has been edifying. Until the next one. Shalom.